the Eternal Tournament Series.
Welcome back to the Eternal Tournament Series Special Edition KC Bandit Sealed Tournament thing. I think that's the name that we've nailed down for it. I am Sir Rhino, and we are here for round 6 of this huge, long, awesome limited tournament, and here to help break down the upcoming rounds and has been helping me throughout the day, or maybe I've been helping him. I don't know how this is going, but Man on Mouse, how are you doing?
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to this one. We have one step behind with a Felon deck here, splashing some time here and there. He has some really strong cards. He has like Umbran Reaper, Champion of Mystery as his top end. He is an interesting deck. It can also take a really aggressive approach since he's running 3 Gorgon Swiftblades, one of the premier Felon 2-drops, and bunch of Cobalt Acolytes and 3 Ice Sprites, so he can tempo Flash out really heavily. Flash is more... If Flash gets to the late game, he most likely will win it. He's running Striking Snake formation, Black Sky Harbinger, Horse Snatcher Bat, and a Sleepless Night as his 8-drop to quickly refill his hand after he spent all his gas. He also has a nice Stranger subset going on. He's running 2 battle-tested Strangers, and I think he's been blessed with, let me quickly count, that is 3, that is 5, 6 Strangers in total as 2-drops, and a 4-zone Stranger as a 3-drop. So he has a nice synergy subset in his deck as well.
Yeah, that is impressive. The other scary thing that I'm seeing in One Step Behind's list, we're talking about all his nice top end and how he can be a bit aggressive with these amazing Gorgon Swiftblades. He's got 2 Lethrai Nightblades stuck in the middle there, just nice unblockable clock, and a Lethrai Falchion that he can put on them. And if you ever assemble that and your opponent doesn't have an answer, that's the game. It's over.
There's no racing that. There's just not good. Racing a 6 power lifesteal, that's just not happening. What are the answers for Flash for that? He doesn't have that many. He doesn't have Execute. He does have an Execute. He has an Extract. But in general, he doesn't have a ton of removal.
Yeah, Feeding Time. Displacer can at least knock off the weapon. So he's got a few answers here and there, and obviously Striking Snake formation. But
you know what? Scratch that. The deeper I look, the more I find.
Annihilate,
Seed Initiation, Dragon Breath. You know what? I think he will be fine.
He'll be okay as we see One Step Behind come out the gates here. This game's underway. He's got not a card I would expect to ever play in Sealed. Yeti Snowchucker. I know, players like to be aggressive. That's a little too aggressive for me.
That's a card I usually try to stay away from in draft as well, but I have lost to this card as well. It is a drop that deals a lot of damage. But usually you are fine. But that is one of the classic ways to lose to this card, is just having this guy getting flying on turn 3.
Yeah.
And suddenly you're facing your Sky Snapper with 2 health.
Yeah, and if I'm Flash, I'm not too worried yet. I've got a Xenon Destroyer to help me race it, but of course, One Step Behind also has an answer to that in Ice Spray. So we're going to see some question and answer coming up here as the Stranger comes in and Cobalt Acolyte trades off with it. I like that trade from One Step Behind. You have access to your opponent's deck list. You know those Strangers can end up getting much bigger because of Battle Tested.
Yeah. Free there. And looking good. So he's going to most likely freeze the Xenon Destroyer here. Next turn he can have a 4/4 Copper Conduit coming down the board. It's Copper Conduit, not as impressive as it was before since the Power Surge rework. It's always behind on curve, but I think in this case it will be just fine. Representing a 4 power overwhelm unit on this board.
Yep, One Step Behind, not splashing many non-Felon cards, but choosing Copper Conduit to be one of them. As you said, not impressive in the early to mid game, but in Sealed, if you end up into these board states where we've seen plenty of times already, you get 7, 8, 9 power. Conduit's real good. And here we see One Step Behind do nothing.
Yeah, he's planning on eating the Xenon Stranger here, the Xenon Destroyer with this Copper Conduit next turn. It is a risky play. If it pays off, he gets 3 value though.
Yep, this is hoping Flash has no kind of removal or combat tricks or something like that. And the reward, as you said, is you get to save Ice Sprite for something better. You know Flash has some really strong bombs, but instead Flash finds feeding
the
time off the
feeding
top.
time off the top. Now, now that's a problem because with leaving the Xenon Destroyer alive, he completely lost all chance to raise Flash there. Just not going to have.
And one step behind, opting to not seek power first there. Okay, but yeah, uses a static bolt to kill the marksman before it can ultimate, plays Ice Sprite, and decides to hide a bunch of information here. Not sure how high a one step behind's curve goes, if he'll get punished for this, but in the meantime, Humbug Swarm comes out from Flash. It can put 2 bugs in the way of this Snow Chucker, and that's what we see.
Yeah. And with one step behind being completely out of gas and in general having the lower top end, it's not looking too hot here.
Yeah, but we're basically in top deck mode here. As you said, Flash is more likely to draw better cards, but that doesn't mean that's what will happen here. And there we go. Lethrai Falchion off the top from one step behind, but Flash's draw for the turn was Execute.
Oh, that's also a really risky play, right? Because the Ice Sprite was a high value target to begin with. Now it's a really juicy removal target.
Yep, you play the cards you're dealt, and it's just not going to work out for one step behind here. Whew. So he's taken a few high risk, high reward lines and has kind of gotten punished every step of the way. But that I don't think that means I disagree with any of his plays.
No, I don't disagree. I can see you waiting a little bit on the Falchion there because you're facing down a 1/1 Humbug. There's no rush to end the game right there, but given the information that he has about Flash's deck, I think he kind of felt the need to close up the game. Otherwise, he would have gotten. He's fearing to get crushed by the value that Flash deck can provide.
Exactly, and he'd already seen one removal spell and feeding time out. Yes, we were talking about Flash's deck and how much removal it does have, but I think it was correct as we see Flash draw another removal spell and banish. One step behind finds an Execute and fires it off here.
He might be desperate here to just try and finish the game with this 2/1. I think you might want to take it slower. Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Nobody is willing to step off the gas here whatsoever.
Yeah, we're in a race. One step behind's down to 7. Flash is at 11, has that banish in hand. It's holding it for now. It's cheap enough that you're not going to get punished for holding it for too long unless you find exactly Sleepless Night. So not going to fire it off on the Swift Blade just yet. And an Umbran Reaper is quite the rip here for one step behind.
That is a problem, potentially.
Oh, it's not. Flash has a Trickster's Cloak in hand.
Oh. All right.
So one step behind, thinking he's got a chance at not only stabilizing, but winning this race. But Flash with the beefed up, souped up, supercharged Humbug, 5/5 unblockable, kills one step behind here.
Well, I'm kind of having flashbacks. Because Humbug is one of the cards I lost to the most to in draft. Like, I can't count the times I lost to a turn 1 Humbug.
Whew. Yeah.
And one step behind, living the nightmare here.
The sole survivor of that swarm, getting all the tools he needs to close out that game. Who says Seal's not exciting? I don't. That's for sure. Those were some fun top decks. That was a lot of action there. The Lethrai Falchion, a couple removal spells, a huge bomb like Reaper, but no. At the end of the day, it's all about the Humbug.
Yeah, it was close though. I think I liked one steps behind Light really throughout the game. He just got a little bit unlucky with the way the cards lined up. If Flash drew the feeding time one turn later there, he would have gone far ahead by just eating the Xenon Destroyer. And yeah, all these little things added up, unfortunately, for him getting bullied out of the game by that not so tiny Humbug.
Yeah, all right. So it looks like players are looking at sideboards. Do they want to modify anything or change things up? I mean, with Flash, you're on 4 factions. I imagine you've got some other powerful things that you're thinking about. Yeah, he's looking at his options right now. We see a Dune Phantom that I don't know was originally in his list or not, but he's been hovering over that. A few Thornbeasts, the 2 Trickster's Cloak. Like, he's trying to figure out, do I want to be the beatdown? Do I need these Trickster's Cloak as a finisher when I've got all this other stuff going on? They certainly got into a race last time. Legion Pathfinder he's holding over. Yeah, that gets cut. Maybe he doesn't want that value there. And the Direfang Spider coming out too.
Oh, so he feels he needs some more early interaction to contest what One Step is doing.
Well, I think it looked like he cut the Direfang Spider.
Oh, he cut the no,
Yeah.
I think he cut the Ceremonial Daggers. Oh, did he cut both?
I'm not sure. No, I'm not sure. We'll see. Who knows? It's a 75 card deck. It won't matter. You won't see either. But here we go. We are looking at mulligans now. One step behind. Got the Snow Chucker that could again, but is that enough to keep this hand? Or it might have been what he mulled into. I'm not sure.
I mean, the hand has a decent payoff if he finds enough power. It is Snow Chucker into Ice Sprite to potentially more follow-up with Frostking and Xeno Fanatic. Xeno Fanatic is an interesting inclusion here. What kinds of life gain does have One Step in his deck? Not that many, I think.
Yeah, I'm not sure there, but Snow Chucker's on the draw. And odd sequencing from Flash here.
Yeah. I disagree with that play there. He could have basically gotten this thing for free, maybe.
Yeah. It turns out One Step Behind was about to draw a Rapid Shot, but still One Step Behind stuck on power. Flash doesn't know that, but still, I think even if I was swinging with Stranger, I would have done it before playing the 3-3.
This way, he made the decision pretty easy for One Step to take the trade here. So he's not forced to either rip a card or 2-for-1 himself to kill the Thorn, or to just run his Snow Chucker into the Thorn Beast there.
All right, so One Step finds the 3rd power, still trying to find the 4th, just deciding does he want to use Execute or Ice Sprite. Goes with the Ice Sprite, locks down one of the 3/3s, gets an extra body on board, but it's vulnerable. That removal's not permanent.
He could have tried to get fancy here and Ice Sprite the Thorn Beast instead, since he has an Execute in hand. He kind of wants the Bone Picker to exhaust.
Mm-hmm.
And then execute, keep the Thorn Beast locked and execute the Bone Picker next turn. The way it turns out, though, he drew the power he needed, so I guess he's going to be somewhat fine. He might even just play the Xeno Fanatics straight up a trading tool here. What he could do is maybe go for a long-term game plan, play the Soul Collector now, hold his units back to trade the block, at least the Scavenging Vulture, that is, next turn start executing stuff, growing his Soul Collector into something huge, and then play the Xeno Fanatic, making the Soul Collector a really scary unit, either to block or to just connect to face. He just choose for a more defensive line, though.
Yep, goes defensive, tries to get a little more setup before going down with Soul Collector, but I see what you're saying there. You're One Step Behind's at 19 health. If he keeps a few blockers back, it's not unreasonable to expect him to still be at a pretty healthy life total for the next turn. Instead, he swings in with the Ice Sprite, swings in with the Vulture, and looks like Flash drew an Execute and might use it to free his Shadowlands Bone Picker here. No, holds on to it.
Interesting. So what now?
I guess he knows One Step Behind will keep attacking, so he's okay with holding the Execute, but does One Step go the Soul Collector now? Yep, there it is.
Yeah, I think I like it. This way you can block the 3/3, take the 5, execute next turn. And also means if he if his Ice Sprite gets removed now, he gets additional value as well.
Flash still drawing more power, choosing to hold this Execute. I don't know if okay, there it goes. I don't know. I think I would have executed then and then swung with the Bone Picker. Oh, but then the 3/3 can trade with it anyways, and you want to activate Bone Picker, I guess. Ooh, One Step Behind finds a Lightning Strike, but I think he's going to use the Execute on the 5/5 here, get his Soul Collector to grow even more with Flash on one card.
Yeah, Flash is in a really rough spot here. One Step Behind can execute now, then crunch it for 7. And that provides Letha next turn with Rapid Shot.
Yeah, but
Oh, I don't like this sequencing though. I think I
Yeah,
would like to execute first.
yeah, the only reason I do that is if I'm not using execute, because you just missed out on a damage. He's holding up Lightning Strike and Rapid Shot here instead.
Oh, he's
So-
banking on Flash to get aggressive here, and Flash does.
All right, so there we go. The Lightning Strike on there grows the Soul Collector to 5. Flash is at 11. Oh, has a blocker. So one step behind was trying to go for the lethal play there, right? Set up the Rapid Shot. But now we
Flash-
see the A space.
Yeah, Flash still has to jump though to not die.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a hard line to take here because that means the Soul Collector will grow so the Thornbeast can't even contest it anymore. I mean, no matter how he does it, the Soul Collector will be out of range.
Mm-hmm.
Is that still lethal? He pushes 4, he pushes 8. No, he's 1 off lethal here, but Flash is left with no board. And yeah, like the Rapid Shot here.
Yeah, chooses to use Rapid Shot. Flash is tapped out anyways. He's going to go down to 1 health. You'll have 3 attackers on board. I don't know if there's any card that gets Flash out
No.
of this spot.
I don't think he has anything in his deck. Like the card I could think of here is Rhymescale Draconos. I don't think Flash has it. Yeah,
No.
that's a scoop.
Yep, scoops it
Nope.
up.
Flash does have one of the best comeback cards in his deck, though. He has a Black Sky Harbinger, but even the Harvey wouldn't have been good enough in that spot.
All right, so one step behind takes that game, and I got to be honest, I forget what happened in the first game. Was that was game 2?
That was game 2. Game 1 was the Humbug beatdown. Game plan
Right.
for Flash, well executed.
Right, so we do get a game 3. Great. I thought so, but my brain is hitting that point where maybe it's not working as well as it should, although it's even later for you right now, isn't it?
It's not getting easier, no. Yeah, it's like 11:30 p.m. right now here. But I don't mind. I'm going to be either here or play Path of Exile, and I'd rather be here. So I'm totally fine.
Yeah, that was a choice a lot of players had to make today with
Yeah.
all the new content in Path of Exile coming up. And all right, one step behind's got a trio of strong 3 drops here.
Like the only thing missing here is like a Swift Blade, and that would be a set 1 Felon Dream Hand draft. Basically.
All right, one step behind, opting to not use the Seek Power just yet. Might want to find the splash color with it. Might want to find Double Shadow, and just waiting to get more information since he has that Shadow source already.
Yeah, I like that. His hand doesn't force him to use the Seek Power here at all, so might as well gather more information. Deck thinning usually not relevant.
No. So Flash gets the aggressive start, gets to be the beatdown for once here. And now one step behind's got to figure out, gonna try and set up the Gorgon Fanatic with the Ice Sprite backup.
I like this line. With the Ice Prime backup, it's unlikely that Flash leaves behind 2 blocking units here. Yeah, and connecting with the Fanatics gives you a really nice... Oh, does he have another one? No.
Ooh. And a Life Drinker is the draw here. So one step behind has the option. Does he go with the Ice Sprite or the Life Drinker here? Because I think you're going to see one of them. And goes with the Life Drinker into 2 open power. There's some risk there.
I think I still like that because not only is the Life Drinker going to be bad at dealing with bigger threats later on in the game, it also checks for a fast spell interaction there that could maybe screw the line he was about to take if he went for the Ice Sprite.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep. Checking for pauses is a big one. You need a canary to go into the coal mine sometimes, and that's what Life
exactly.
doubled up as. So Humbug Swarms to play for Flash. Don't have to think about that too much. One step behind, still got a whole lot of 3 drops. Adds a Copper Conduit to the mix as well.
So how does Flash best approach this board here? Ice Sprite can contest the Swarm here, but it feels so bad to block with the Ice Sprite most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
But might be what he needs to do. The Humbugs, they don't look like much, but they are going to kill you.
Yep. So I think what one step he goes for the 3/3 just to stop the 2/2 for now, and now I think we'll see an Ice Sprite lockdown something. And then maybe the Nightblade to help race and pair up here. Ooh, and even the Bone Picker comes in.
Yeah, players have playing very aggressively. I mean, with the Bone Picker to here we go again.
Back to game one. Let's call it back. The Humbug with the cloak, and wow, yeah, that's gonna make a Lethride Nightblade block here.
Oh, I'm not quite sure with a.
Yeah.
Well, I guess
it feels a little premature if you have another Ice Sprite in hand. It's just you would have been at 14 instead of 16. I mean, I guess with a huge conduit, why even give them those slim chance of really putting the race in their favor? But I think that was a little too conservative for my liking.
Yeah, but I like this sequence when here getting the big threat down first and lock down the Humbug here.
Mm-hmm. Yep, Copper Conduit's a 6/6 overwhelm. Execute is the draw here as well for one step behind, and Flash is looking at a hand of just one sigil. So this is not looking great. One step behind, got to dig a little bit deeper with that. Gorgon Fanatic is currently at 56 cards left in his library compared to 61 to Flash, and is putting that extra resources to use. A huge conduit, bunch of Ice Sprites. This Ice Sprite's doing so much work. It's locking down a unit and locking down these 1/1 flyers.
Oh, that is aggressive.
Holy cow.
I think I would have liked to see him use the ability of the Bone Picker here and just crunch him with these two. Since he has so many ways to deal with it. I mean, this way.
Yeah. Whew. Static Bolt, the Humbug. I think I would have Ice Sprited a Humbug and saved the Static Bolt just to go face if you're getting that aggressive to begin with.
I mean, with a 6/6 overwhelm unit, there's not many ways you get punished in that spot. Even if it's like a hard removal for the 6/6, you still have a Bone Picker left. I think I agree, though, with going for the Ice Sprite instead. The Static Bolt presented additional phase damage there. Yeah,
I suppose you might want to hold on to the Ice Sprite, though, just in case they draw a big bomb flyer. Like, one of the few ways Flash gets back in that is with Black Sky Harbinger, as we were talking about
Black
before.
Sky Harbinger would have been absolutely devastating there for the most part.
So, it's kind of a hedging your bet both ways sort of thing. Take a really aggressive line, but still have, just in case of emergency Black Sky Harbinger, you've got this thing to lock it down still.
Yeah, that's basically what one step behind deck wants to do. It wants to build up early pressure and then just continue the tempo with the use of all these Ice Sprites and executes. Well played. Like it. Like the
a big part of that game was Flash had the early advantage, decided to press it, swung with one too many units, and that let his opponent find the opening, get that Gorgon Fanatic in, get some more fuel, and take over the game.
Yeah, Gorgon Fanatic and Desperado, those are like those fan staples. You really need to be careful how to play around those, because if they connect phase, they provide you with a huge value boost. That's sometimes hard to come back from, especially the Gorgon Fanatic. Like coming up 3 cards is pretty rough in draft or in limited in general.
Oh yeah, and it's one of those infiltrate cards have that great freezing effect on your opponent where you gotta always leave that one extra unit behind, and if you don't, it can really come back to haunt you, as we saw there. So with that being said, we're gonna take a little break from the action. We'll have more coverage in the next round, but before we do that, gotta plug what else is going on here at RNG Eternal. Even though the Eternal Tournament Series won't start up until next month, we still got some fun stuff going on. Obviously, today, Sealed Tournament's going on. But next week, it's the return of the Eye of Winter Classic. So that'll be next Saturday. I don't know if registration's already open yet or not, but you can always go to rngeternal.com to get more information about that. But it's just an end of the year, mostly for fun tournament, but there are prizes on the line. Totally free to enter, though. It's basically like the same format as the ETS Open. It's going to be Swiss style. Anybody can play in it, cut to top 8, and $150 prize pool goes out to those in the that do well in the tournament. I believe you have to make top 8 to get get a piece of that pie, but no sort of series points or invitational points or anything like that awarded. It's mostly for fun, but a little bit of money on top just for those that really want to get the glory. So if you're looking to scratch that Eternal Tournament itch, well, check out the Eye of Winter Classic. Again, more information at rngeternal.com. And with that, we'll see you in the next round.